Dgenz Crypto Daily episode 41 is coming right up.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Dgenz Crypto Daily.
That's right.
Dgenz Crypto Daily.
Let's go. Dgenz Crypto Daily, news in the code. Riding on a blockchain, heavy with the load. Lambo dreams are dying, rugs are in the air. Chart gave us a meaning to the trading everywhere. Real Bitcoin's on the moon, and Ether's on fire. Holders in the storm, lifted higher and higher. With chart in the lead, watch the candles glow. Crypto's in the fast lane, never gonna hit them slow.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see. Mining all those diamonds in digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, that's the key. Stay up on your game now. Trading is wild and free.
DeFi farms are lush, staking's all the buzz. NFTs are flipping, got those pixels flipping. Wallet stacking yield, hash rates on the rise. Dgenz Crypto Daily, vision in your eyes. Bulls are on the charge, bears are laying low. Crypto roller coaster, markets have been flown. Fellow to the left, Bitcoin on the right. Crypto's never sleeping cause fortunes are overnight.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see. Mining all those diamonds in digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, there's the key. Stay up on your game now. Charts got you wild and free.
DeFi farms are lush, staking's all the buzz. NFTs are flipping, got those pixels flipping. Wallet stacking yield, hash rates on the rise. Dgenz Crypto Daily, vision in your eyes. Bulls are on the charge, bears are laying low. Crypto roller coaster, markets have been flown. Velo to the left, Bitcoin on the right. Crypto's never sleeping cause fortunes are overnight.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see.
Fortunes you can see.
Mining all those diamonds. Digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, there's the key. Stay up on your game now. Charts got you wild and free.
Yes, I do. I have you wild and free. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Dgenz Crypto Daily, episode 41 on this hump day. It doesn't seem like a really good hump day, seeing how we're all of a sudden bearish. But if you were listening to this stream, say 4 days ago, you were ready for this way before anyone else. And I congratulate you, because that's the whole point, right? To try to beat this market together. It is October 2nd. It doesn't feel like October at all. But we can talk about this later. There's a reason for that. We kind of mentioned it in the other streams. But before we get started, as always, this is your opportunity to follow me on Twitter or X, and to follow our sister account, Dgenz NFT. We're an awesome community on Solana that tries to navigate this crypto thing, this crypto storyline. And so we try to do it together. We try to uplift each other on days like this, if you were a bag holder from 21 to 22, you need some help. So we're here for that. We have plenty of experience in these markets. As well, if you want to interact with this stream, it's very simple. You go to the streams page, go to the right-hand side where the chat is, and you can simply say GM, like that. And if you have a question or a request, you want me to look at some token, put it in the chat. I will look at it and put it on the stream. Okay. Lastly, if you are in our Discord and are taking our calls, we partner with Blowfin. And if you scan this QR code, you will get 10% off on all your perpetual trades with Blowfin. And as you can see, there's lots to short, right? Lots of memes to short. If you could take a look at the changes here, let's look at top to bottom. You know, you could have made 16% on one of these, 14% on Myro, right? And so on and so forth. So get 10% on all your trades using that QR code. So is there anything in the news today? Let's take a look. It says here, North Korea is infiltrating the crypto industry. It says more than a dozen blockchain firms inadvertently hired undercover IT workers from the rogue state, incurring cybersecurity and legal risks, a CoinDesk investigation found. Well, that's interesting. But does that mean anything to you? Well, it depends on whether or not you're using the technology, right? If you're using the blockchain or the decentralized application, and North Korea IT developers are pretty much creating the code, they're going to obviously create a malicious code and potentially steal your money. So it's good to not interact with too many applications. And if you do, use a ledger and revoke all access after using the ledger. It's just security 101. All right. So you can see that I guess people are buying fake licenses and they are trying to infiltrate as developers. So this here, CoinDesk identified more than a dozen crypto companies that unknowingly hired IT workers from a Democratic People's Republic of Korea, including such well-established blockchain projects as Injective, ZeroLend, Phantom, Sushi, Yearn, Finance, and Cosmos. Wow. So if you hold any of these tokens and you're interacting with their ecosystems, you got to be careful, right? Again, use a ledger, revoke access after you use the ledger, because they can't do anything to your funds using that. Especially with staking, like staking contracts are very interesting, right? Some platforms have self-custodial staking, some don't. So I don't know how it is on Injective and Phantom or whatever, but if it's not self-custodial, then you're pretty much sending tokens into their platform. So I wouldn't do that. It says here, the workers used fake IDs, successfully navigated interviews, passed reference checks, and presented genuine work histories. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Like, think about the level of infiltration that is, where these people have fully vetted secondary identification and past history in order to pass all those legal things, all those legal hurdles. It says here, hiring DPRK workers is against the law in the US and other countries that sanction North Korea. It also presents a security risk. CoinDesk encountered multiple examples of companies hiring DPRK IT workers and subsequently getting hacked. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? They're going to obviously produce malicious code in order to hack. Everyone is struggling to filter out these people. Yeah, it's very difficult if they're taking that much effort into producing themselves as fake ID. They're going to do whatever it takes to infiltrate, right? It says here, says Zaki Manian, a prominent blockchain developer who says he inadvertently hired 2 IT workers to help develop the Cosmos Hub blockchain in 2021. So it is a problem, right? And this is interesting because if you are trying to develop a blockchain and you're hiring from the US, and somebody who looks like he may be Korean, whether North or South Korean, comes along, especially a citizen, this is going to now pose at least an obstacle, right, for the person who's trying to get hired because of these kinds of things. It's unfortunate, but this is what it is, right? This is a long article, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah, it's definitely a problem. And so this is going to be interesting to track as we move forward. So we noticed that Bitcoin did slide. And so I'll tell you guys something. Whenever I see an article like this, right, it's trying to take a news event and make it fit into what's happening on the charts. And I hate it all the time because it's never the case. Like we've discussed this a few streams ago, how Bitcoin is going to have a week, most likely about a week's worth of red action. Like there's going to be some selling. And so we knew this coming along before any of this Israel-Iran tension came about. So this world event has nothing to do with the price action, nothing, because it didn't start it. It wasn't like all of a sudden a nuke went off somewhere and then that initiated the slide. If you guys remember, COVID was kind of like a world event where once everything started to come forward with information, people got scared and started selling, right? So it technically speaking, wasn't ready to sell. And I'll show you this on the chart in a sec, but people weren't ready to sell, and then they had to sell because they didn't know what's going to happen to the world. This event has nothing to do with the price action, like nothing. And so when people ask me, like, is this going to be an issue going forward? Not really, unless this turns into like a COVID-wide scenario where it is like a world war or whatever, and everybody is involved. Then absolutely the things are off the table, right? Then we get into new territory about how things are perceived, because sentiment changes altogether. But this is an isolated incident in an area and has no effect on the rest of the world, in my estimation. Okay. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, because that's really, really important. Okay. All right, let's put it on the weekly scale, and I'm going to take off all these indicators because I want to show you what happened with COVID. All right, so here we are. 2020, right? So ideally, if you can see my cursor here, ideally, we were not ready to sell here. We were at a resistance, but we didn't need to breach this area right here, because what we were supposed to do is come up here and then just bounce, 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 and then go into the bull run. What happened was the world event happened, and we saw a massive shift in the sentiment, and we didn't know what to expect. And so in a few weeks, we ended up dropping so low. But again, what happens is we don't just drop to zero. We drop to a level that people find to be bullish at. So that would be this area here. So anywhere in here, people will be coming in to buy. And that's what happened. So when we had the drop, people came into this area and they said, fuck you, I'm buying here. It's $3,000 of Bitcoin. It's probably going to be worth $1 million at some point. I'm buying. So they came in, and you can see the volume of selling and then the volume of buying each week, right? And then another week of volume of buying, and then buying and buying, and so on and so forth. And this moved everything up again above these lines, and then we started into the bull run. Okay. So that's a real world event. Even with a real world event, we still ended up dropping to a level that is, as they call it, demand, right? The demand of this price was really, really strong. So when we go back to here, right now, we don't have any news event that is going to shake this chart. We knew this drop is going to happen last week. We knew it was going to happen probably most of the week, right? Because we need to establish a bottom in the month in order to know where we are for the rest of the month. Okay, so I think like we were talking about it yesterday, we wanted to see what happens at these EMAs right here. So these EMAs are pretty much holding. Okay, so let's zoom in really quickly. Just like that. Okay. These 20 21 and 13 EMA are kind of important on the weekly scale because it tells us what near-term action is going to do, right? Because sometimes we have these rejections, right? We have these rejections, so it's important, or we have these supports. If the rest of the week closes above this line right here, so that was the low in the body of last week. That's 63.5. If we close above it, like right here, somewhere around here, 64, the rest of October is going to be incredibly bullish. But we need to show a little bit of strength, right? Because we really don't want to be dropping down to here that way. We really don't want to do that because then it's going to take a while to get going again. It would have to be a massive shakeout, like a drop here, an immediate comeback. And that usually doesn't happen, especially on Bitcoin. So what I think is going to happen is exactly that. We're going to hold this level and then produce a pretty decent sized candle for the bulls, probably right here. It's going to close red, which is fine. But we're going to show that this wick right here is going to be really, really long. And then we can probably get out of there and go. Also, one of the things I noticed that it did kind of get out of a fractal. I'll show you really quickly. All right, so say we were to draw a trend line. Okay, so say we go from here. It doesn't fit, but it kind of fits. Okay, it would be something like this. Maybe if we could do it on a daily scale. Yeah, much better. Okay, so let's go and showcase it like that. Okay, see how that fits? Two things happened, right? We broke out and we came back down, touched this line. Also the daily 200 EMA. We did breach this trend line, and this is why I was bearish in the first place, right? So now what happens is we have to touch back. So eventually we're going to climb up to here again. And since we're bullish in October, we're most likely going to go sideways and then out to that 72, 74 by the end of October. And that's my estimation. This is why I was saying to you guys in the last stream and the stream before that, if you're not buying right now, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. If you have capital on the sidelines, please deploy it into assets that will appreciate with 20x, 30x, 50x. Okay, they're there, they're in front of you. All right, you just got to do a little bit more digging, or just watch the stream because I'll try to do my best. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at dominance, right? It's kind of climbing, but I don't think it's going to last long because it's trying to do a double top here. Okay, so I think what's going to happen is probably another rejection here, and then we go down. We need to have a kind of like a lower high, right? Because we have one high here, it has to be lower, right? And then eventually that just drops. But in this scenario, what we had is we had a higher low. So we had a low, lower low, and then higher low. That means more buyers are coming than sellers at that level. Okay. It's just psychological, really. So what we want is a lower high here. Okay, and at that point, we will expect this action to go here. Okay, and then we talk about the dominance needing to go all the way down to this level here. So the 40%. Okay, so I think we need to get down to here in order to produce that market top. There is a scenario where this 40% does not hold. What I mean by that is, so if we take a look at this fractal, I'm going to put it on the weekly scale. When we have a fractal, normally there's two supports and two resistances, and the following either resistance or support will produce a move to the other side. What I mean by that is, If we have one more support here, that means action is going to go up here. Okay. If this support never holds, that means action is going to come through here, touch back, and then go down. All right. So let's see what happens with this fractal, which actually started back in like 2016 for dominance, right? You can kind of see, like, and I'll show you what I mean. I just saw something that I can show you. If we look at this fractal, I know it's so small, but if we zoom in, you can kind of see what I mean. It's the same thing, right? We have fractals about here, okay? And there we have, you know, one support, one resistance, second support, second resistance, and then action flushed, right? Okay. It tried to come back here, but it wasn't strong enough, and then it just kept going. So this is what I'm saying to you guys about this dominance. There's a chance of that happening at this macro level, okay? At this level, where we have a similar thing happen, where it just drops here, which means the altcoin market is going to be much, much bigger than we expect. That means if, say, the total crypto cap is about $10 trillion and the dominance of Bitcoin is, say, 30%, that means altcoins are going to go crazy. That means like this total 3 chart here is going to be like squashed, and we will have like, you know, $7 trillion in market cap for all altcoins. It is quite possible, right? Because if you look at this chart, right, if you were just trading based on what you see without knowing what it is, you would look at this and go, man, this is a bullish chart because it keeps bouncing off of this weekly 200 EMA, and it's going to eventually start moving up. And that's exactly what we want, right? In this scenario, we want altcoin market cap to fly, and we're going to get that. So you got to be patient with altcoins. You got to, you know, find the right ones, and we will get there, because it's just, this is how things work. Okay. Lastly, before we do anything, I want to just touch on the market cap of USDD dominance. So that's the USDT.D chart. Okay. All right. So the first things I'm noticing is on the weekly scale, we're very bearish on this chart, which is good because that's an inverse of the market that we're in, the crypto market. So if this is bearish, we're bullish, right? Talked about this pinch for a long time now, and we're eventually going to get it. That means this pinch is going to go south. This action is going to go south again. All right. And we're going to finally get into the third level of this chart, which is down here. Okay. So first level is here, where we're in the second level. The third level is going to be down here. All right. And this MACD is going to be probably down to this double bottom at that red line. That's going to take us into the end of the bull run. Okay, so that's what we want. We want to wait for that. So if you're a holder, you got to bear with this, you know, minimal bearish momentum if you see that right now. Okay, if you're a trader, you're basically looking at, you know, 4-hour scales, 1-hour scales, and trading according to that, right? Because if you look at it on the daily scale, right, it does look like it's trying to get to this level here, like this level here, probably to this level there. Okay. You know, we are seeing a head and shoulders formation, right? And we do have a crossover here, but it's a deep crossover in the bearish territory. So it's not going to be very, very strong. All right. So I think for the rest of the week, we may see some bearish activity. So keep an eye on that. But overall, we're very bullish, and will be for all of October. A reminder, if you are watching the stream and you have questions, you can always go into here and say, hey, chart, can you check out some Solidify? And I would say for sure. Of course we can. Before we start, has anyone seen the VP interview yesterday? Why am I asking? Well, we have Politify tokens for both VP candidates. And it is interesting to note that both Walt and Vence were trading to the upside prior to the debate. Give an example of what we're looking at. And this is why we don't hold through things. Okay. I mentioned this, I think, a stream ago, and I said, with these Politify tokens, do not hold past the election. I repeat, do not hold past the election. Okay. Because it's going to happen exactly like you see it on the chart. Okay. There will be a run, just like yesterday. You know, the debate was here, right? Around that time. There's a run up. There's an initial sell off. Everyone thinks it's going to just keep going up again. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. We're producing head and shoulders. Okay. And so this is basically your last call at that moment. Okay. And as soon as the election as soon as the debate started, we had that drop, right? To this level, to the level before the run up. Okay. So if you are holding Walt or events, which happened pretty much the same way. Okay. Show you what I mean. Hour scale. Okay. Same thing. Except it kind of looks worse. Didn't go up as much. So the run up would have been here. Again, head and shoulders, and then debate. This is why you don't hold through things. Okay. Now, you also have two other ones. It's funny, actually, just to see the 24-hour drop is 63% on Waltz, and Vence had 21% drop. Okay. The other two are Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. All right, so let's look at Kamala for a sec. So notably, they didn't drop at all during this because it didn't really affect them. Didn't have a debate. Now, if there is a debate coming up, be aware there was going to be a run up and then a drop off again. I don't know whether or not they're scheduling for one, but there's only about 4 weeks left before the election. And, you know, we are not likely going to get to these levels that we kind of want, right? With Kamala Harris, I would say the most you can probably get is this level here. All right. Unfortunately, because, you know, if there's a crazy run up, fine. Okay, let's treat it as, you know, people are FOMOing into it and trying to get as much money extracted out of the marketplace. But I would sell it at 3.1 cents without any question. Again, if you don't sell it before the election, that means like a day or two before, you're going to experience this drawdown wherever it is. So if you trade up to here and you think it's going to keep going, you're going to get to this level by the end. Even if she's the president, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Okay. So, do not hold past the election. Same goes with Donald Trump. Okay. Which more recently had a resurgence because I think he's gaining in the polls. We'll look at Polymarket in a second. But again, same kind of thing with Trump. Do not overextend. Don't think it's going to get to some crazy level. All right. We're looking for these three levels. Okay. So I'm going to put it like this. Okay. I think that's safe to say it's going to probably hit that line. So if we do have any run in Trump as well, I would treat it as it's going to get to that level. Okay. So let me remove that for a second. It's going to get to this level and then back down. So we're looking for, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to look for something like this right here. Okay. So we're at 64 cents. It's about a 3x from here. Do not hold past November. I repeat, do not hold past November. There's going to be a lot other plays to be had in the future. So if you're trading, you got about 4 weeks to hold this token, and that is it. In fact, I think it might be 3 weeks, because a lot of us, like I hold some Trump, I'm going to sell it way before then. Okay, way before then. I don't really care if it does this, right? I don't care if it does, sorry. I don't care if it does this, okay? I just want, 75% of that. Because everything else past that is risky. This is all risky. Okay, so again, I know I've said it 1,000 times already. Do not hold it past the election. All right. So that's all the Politify tokens that I would recommend. Anything else, I wouldn't. Now, make sure if you are trading these, you get the right ones. So what you would do is go all the way down to here, okay, and check what the pair contract address it is. It will be down here. So, okay, that's your pair. So this is the pair you got, Tramp and Sol, and then the Tramp contract address is right here. So this is it. All right. Or you can go on CoinGecko and look it up as well. I think there's only one. But don't be fooled, because there's lots, right? If you go to search, type in Trump, for example, okay, you can get fooled if you get the wrong one, because there's so many. Okay. All right. So we touched on Politify tokens. What about the rest of them? What are we doing with the rest of the tokens? All right, let's go back to take a look at Velo, right? We talked about Velo, how we don't want it to drop back down into that channel. And let's take a look at it again. So we want it in this section here as much as we can. It's not terrible if it comes down here and holds, but we don't want it underneath that. Like anything here is terrible, like awful, right? So we want the bulls to show up in this section from here to there. Okay, so it's fine if it drops down to this level. That is 1.3 cents. That's the 365 EMA. The 200 EMA is just underneath that, the blue line. And so it's going to be okay if it drops to that, but we can't go further than that. Absolutely not. All right, see how like we had rejections here and then we stay down. We don't want that. All right. Opulus, it's funny how it's holding. Maybe it's the fact that we're doing something with Lee tomorrow. Maybe that's what it is. People are more optimistic and bullish. Now, there's a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of pinching. We do have momentum going down. If we have the rest of the week bearish, we could probably end up here. So just above 7. Between 7 and 6.9 cents. Okay, so if you're looking to add, I would say wait for that. If we do get bearish, if this crosses over and comes this way. Right, but again, we're trading into 2025. We're adding on every single drop. Okay, so if you're waiting for that drop, it's coming. Like on some of these alts, we're going to get most likely another drop. Lambda, for example, I talked about that one. It had a resurgence, and it was pretty wild to see, like right there, and then it dropped back down, right? So if you're, trying to trade this, you really don't want to be adding when it's up 25%. Okay. You know, even like Pyth up 5% today, right? It very well can go down again. So I wouldn't add it right now. Say, right? We talked about this level, right? We said 40 cents is probably where it's going to drop to. And we got that. Now, it is possible if we have more bearish momentum this week, it can drop down to this level here. So we're looking at 35 cents. It's this right here. Okay. I would save some liquidity for in case it does drop. We do have this little bit of a pinch, but it could also like do one of these and then just goes up again. So we could have a hold at this level and then we have a pump to that that section over there where we're talking about, like this right here, the top level of this. That would be about 65 cents. So keep an eye on it. If it does drop back down, start adding, because Say is going to be awesome in the bull run. I think we covered most of our tokens that we track religiously. Just be careful out there, you know. If you have any questions, you're interested in finding out how to buy tokens, or you have some requests, come see us in our Dgenz NFT Discord. I'm always there. You can ask any questions, or you just tag me on Twitter. You know my Twitter by now. So just tag me. I will try to answer any of your questions. But we are approaching the end of the stream. I thank you again for joining me for episode 41. And let's see each other tomorrow. How about that? Bye, everyone.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Dgenz Crypto Daily.
That's right.
Dgenz Crypto Daily.
Let's go. Dgenz Crypto Daily, news in the code. Riding on a blockchain, heavy with the load. Lambo dreams are dying, rugs are in the air. Chart gave us a meaning to the trading everywhere. Real Bitcoin's on the moon, and Ether's on fire. Rollers in the storm, lifted higher and higher. With Chart in the lead, watch the candles glow. Crypto's in the fast lane, never gonna hit them slow.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see. Mining all those diamonds in digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, that's the key. Stay up on your game now. Trading is wild and free.
DeFi farms are lush, staking's all the buzz. NFTs are flipping, got those pixels flipping. Wallet stacking yield, hash rates on the rise. Dgenz Crypto Daily, vision in your eyes. Bulls are on the charge, bears are laying low. Crypto roller coaster, markets have been flown. Fellow to the left, Bitcoin on the right. Crypto's never sleeping, cause fortunes are overnight.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see. Mining all those diamonds in digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, there's the key. Stay up on your game now. Charts got you wild and free.
Farms are lush, staking's all the buzz. NFTs are flipping, got those pixels flipping. Wallet stacking yield, hash rates on the rise. Dgenz Crypto Daily, vision in your eyes. Bulls are on the charge, bears are laying low. Crypto roller coaster, markets have been flown. Velo to the left, Bitcoin on the right. Crypto's never sleeping, cause fortunes are overnight.
Dgenz Crypto Daily. Fortunes you can see.
Fortunes you can see.
Mining all those diamonds. Digital harmony. Dgenz Crypto Daily. Crypto, there's the key. Stay up on your game now. Charts got you wild and free.